Have you ever had a conversation with someone about sports that turns into a discussion or a debate or an argument about which player is better and why? A lot of times people will bring in championship trophies, right? Who won the most title, to discuss where the player ranks on the all-time great list. My response is usually something along the lines of, great players win games, great teams win championships. I use that sentence a lot when I'm talking about my sports heroes, right? I'm a Minnesota sports fan, so a lot of my heroes have not won championships. You know, whether it's Kevin Garnett or Randy Moss or Adrian Peterson, there's a lot of great Minnesota athletes that haven't won championships. So I say great players win games, great teams win championships. So if you're trying to bring championships into the debate, well, that's not an individual stat, that's a team stat, right? You can be a great player, but if you're on a bad team, you're not going to win championships, right? So if you look at how many games individually they win, then you can talk about maybe greatness as a player, right? Regular season stats and wins versus playoffs and championships, right? Those are won by teams. LeBron James fans use this argument a lot when discussing Jordan against LeBron. And to that, I'll say that in basketball, it's a little bit different because one player makes a bigger difference. So one player does have a much bigger impact on the overall team winning a championship. So it's a little bit different, but especially in the NFL, especially when you're talking about quarterbacks, right? I'm a big Dan Marino fan. He never won a championship, but I always tell people, well, that's because he didn't have very good teams around him, right? Joe Montana had some really good teams around him. Not to take anything away from Joe Montana, but he had some really good teams, and that's part of the reason, a big part of the reason why he won so many championships in San Francisco. So it might be a little different in different sports, but the truth still applies to a certain extent. And that truth absolutely applies into your life. You could get a lot of wins, you could win a lot of games in your life, a lot of small victories by yourself. If you are that good on your own, right? You might be smart enough, talented enough to do certain things and have a level of success. But if you're trying to get to that ultimate prize, and you're trying to reach that level of success that God has for you, and you're trying to get to that full purpose that God created you for, you're gonna need a great team. You can't do it by yourself. So I gotta ask, who's on your team? Are you surrounded by other great people that are striving towards greatness with you? Or are you surrounded by friends and coworkers and people in your life that are just there for a good time, right? When you're a little kid, most of your friendships are about convenience, right? Someone lives across the street from you, so whether you don't have to have anything in common, they're your neighbor across the street, so you get together and you play in the sandbox, like I did with my neighbors, right? You can play games and things in the front yard, in the backyard, just because they're near you, right? Your classmates in school become your best friends. As you get older, you realize you might not have anything in common with them. They might have different likes and interests in things, but you were in the same class together, so they kind of became your friends. As you get older, you have less of those convenient relationships. And maybe you still have a lot of them because of who you work with or what you do in life. But I want to challenge you to be more intentional about who's on your team. Right? This is the holiday season, so now's a great time to be surrounded by friends and family and people that you love. And although you can't choose your family, and you may not be able to choose your coworkers or different things like that, but think about God placing these people in your lives for a reason. So there's 2 points to this. One is surround yourself with a great team. The second thing is be a great team to those that are already surrounding you. Right? You can't choose your family, but God put them there for a reason. So maybe they're not pushing you as much as you'd like, but you can push them, right? So it's together that we can truly achieve the full greatness that God has for us. And I also want to encourage you in this, tomorrow's Thanksgiving, as you are surrounded by friends and family and those that are close to you, if you have a great team, be thankful. Thank God and thank them that they're in your life. Be intentional about who you allow into your life. And if you have good people in your life, be intentional about spending time with them, about connecting with them, about building each other up. If you want to accomplish everything that God has for you, you have to surround yourself with a great team.